I love that. And for me, I don't know if does anybody here use Who Gives a Crap? Lou Rolls. Anybody subscribe to that? Yeah. And for me, Oddbox is almost like the new Who Gives the Crap, where people are really proud to have it out on display because I'm in the gang. Just like people are so proud. I've been to houses where people have given me a Lou Roll as a going home present, as a really nice thing to say, you should be doing this. Yeah, don't worry, I do it already. But it's so amazing to have people that are that passionate about what you're doing. That's the dream, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'd say actually having people that are that passionate in the company as well, I think that's really, really helped us with our growth and to stay really in tune with our key messages. So we have so many great teams, like the brand team. We also have an impact team who will measure everything that we do in terms of the impact on the environment, so we can quantify it and then we can work on reducing that impact. So for example, recently we launched a flyering campaign. We've been talking a lot about digital growth, but we've done some offline marketing channels as well. And flyering, of course, is a lot of paper. So we've been looking at how we can reduce that and putting a step-by-step guide into how we do that. So we have these great teams that really keep us quite grounded, because often you're looking at revenue and growth as the main thing. But we have these people who make us step back and look at it.
It's all about what internal metrics do you have of success, and money, of course, is great. No business is sustainable without money. But there's other things that drive it. And I think also it's a recruitment issue now, that if your business doesn't have solid purpose, then very few people want to go and work there anymore. So, Nicola, I want to turn to you. And we've talked about Facebook a lot and all the different social medias, but fashion and social media is a really big issue and a very controversial one, because it's such a driver of sales, the whole Instagram. You can never wear something twice. How do you feel about that? Because you are a DTC brand now, you're in the fashion space. Fashion doesn't have a very good ethical positioning to start with. How are you going to work into that space?
Yeah, that's a tricky question, because we are a little in a schizophrenic position here, asking people to buy less, but asking more people to buy less. So we have to reach, we have to get there, but we don't have to compromise and to go against our own values. So this is what we have built up in the last 2 years. What we present now is an entirely new company. It's a new start. What is important in what you said is the real reason why we are doing that is what happened to this industry to come from beauty and craftsmanship and to be today the most polluting in the world. And that is the starting question of a process that we are into now. And we have a proposal that we put to the markets, and so then how we will use what social media to reach who. We hope for a little luck, obviously, and we have decided to stick to our values. And for example, we have no budget for any influencer, because we think this is part of our values, not to pay people to speak about this. Will we succeed or not? Future will say.
I have high hopes. Tracy, you are the queen of soulful storytelling. And I think there are many, we were just talking about the CMA and the whole amount of greenwash that we're seeing right now, and the disclosures on this. And I think businesses they're going to be called to task on the fact that they have to prove everything that they say, and us as customers can demand that now. How do you see, you've been involved in so many businesses, big and small, and now CEO of Modern Botany. Yeah. How do you see businesses being able to do the right thing but tell the story in an authentic way?
I think I'm quite nervous because they're all waiting for me to say something funny. And there isn't anything really to say that's funny. But the fact of the matter is that now we do want authenticity, we want trust, we want honesty, we want integrity, we want to work with like-minded individuals. Consumers want to, I think the day of the demographic is completely gone. Mm-hmm. My daughter is 20, I'm 56. If we were going out for a walk, we'd rock up in exactly the same outfits, more or less. So people really want to belong now, and they want to stand for something, and they want to be able to give the toilet roll away at the doorstep. And so storytelling today has to come from a true place of heart. and mind and a mission to do something differently, because we are saturated with brands on every level, whether it's food, cosmetics, beauty. If I look at beauty, I've watched categories go from skincare to colour cosmetics and fragrance to now there is 20 different categories within cosmetics, from sealants and radiant products through to blushers, through to different types of mascaras, vows, etc. And then in hair care, there's so many different categories. It's not just about shampoo and conditioning now. It's dry shampoo, it's treatment. It's so broad. And I was really intrigued by what Google said earlier. Sorry, I always call her Google. Are you still here? She's gone. That's a relief. We used to sit on the board together at CEW. She's still there. But the fact of the matter is that we are searching for experiences. We are searching for human connection. We're more isolated. We're more lonely than ever before. And we need a place to belong. And I think that what I would encourage everybody here as a startup to do is to definitely look at your competition, but are you entering a new category? Do you have a new statement to make? And what do you really, really stand for? Because a 5-line mission statement is no longer enough. You have to be able to spread that word. Omnichannel, most definitely. You have to go after a direct-to-consumer positioning, and so you have to be able to capture their attention. I've been lucky enough to reinvent brands, and you and I have worked on different projects over the years. It's harder now than it's ever been before.
Yeah,
it's harder, and you're not going to lose that. It's going to get harder and harder and harder.
So if you don't have that very, very clear differentiation, and for me the differentiation is not just what you sell, it's what you do.
Yeah, how you behave.
And I think that's going to be the thing that actually, in time, tell me if I'm wrong, Tim, actually increases your value as well, because everyone has a love brand, and that has a disproportionate level of valuation. Nicholas, I wanted to ask you a quick thing, because we were talking earlier, and we were talking about that whole perhaps slightly Swiss attitude that you have, of the care that you're taking with every step. You only launched 3 weeks ago, so it's super new, even though you've had this brand a long time, but what you're doing now is 3 weeks old. And you are taking each step so carefully, and we've had a lot of talks today. I mean, this entire summit today, conference, is called 10X. And I don't see that with you. I don't see that speed is of the essence with you. It seems to be much more carefully considered. Perhaps you can just tell us a little about that, so that people here that aren't 10Xing every day don't feel so bad.
No, it's very Swiss indeed that we try to keep our both feet on the ground. That allows us also to ski faster when we go down. On a more steady way. So basically, yes, we are not obsessed by speed, and we are not obsessed by growth, and we are trying to build up a very solid company meant for the future. We think we have something important in the hand with a lot of potential, and we want to take care of it.
Thank you. I'm going to drop a little disruptive comment now. I don't know if anybody here works for a charity, and I'm sorry if you do, but I think the whole charity model is completely broken. I don't know why charities exist. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand how we've allowed a business world to evolve, where businesses, at the behest of everything else, in the pursuit of profit, can do so much, let's say, harm. And then they give some money to a charity, thinking that that's okay. They're so philanthropic, they're so generous, that they just hive off a little bit of that profit to perhaps undo some of the harm that they've done. Do any of you think, because you're all in very purpose-driven businesses that don't, I would imagine, just sub a bit of money out to charity so that they can use that as a marketing tool, but you're doing the do, and that's what I love. I always say to people, don't give it to a charity, you do the work. You're the business, you've got the people. Do you think that we could actually disrupt that world so much that business actually could make charities redundant in future?
Yes, I do. One of the things that we do at Modern Botany is that we're looking at regenerative farming, and we grow our ingredients in Ireland. And what we're seeing is that there are lots of farmers really, really struggling to make ends meet because there is lesser demand for animal feed. So not that this is going to be charitable, but if we are growing unadulterated ingredients, we call them Cinderella species. We have a pharmacognosist that works with us. He's an amazing scientist. There's very few of them left in the world. He measures the performance of the ingredients. What we want to do, and we've had hundreds and hundreds of acres pledged to us by farmers that actually cannot, make a living doing what they're doing right now. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Ireland's a tiny place, right? 6 million people, but this is going to be a concern for them from an industry perspective. So actually us growing flax, chamomile, starflower, is going to marigold is going to make a difference. Calendula is going to make a difference to those individuals, and actually their yields are going to be stronger. So we see that as charity. We see that as building a community. We see that as making a difference.
But you're doing it.
But we're doing it. Yes.
Yeah, I love that. Guys, have you got anything you want to add to that?
No, maybe the answer that the young people give us, it's time for action, and it's time for change, and we can do it. But they are doers and they are speakers. Luckily, we are both.
I'd say from kind of looking at food waste and looking at food poverty as well, and people, all the charities that are out there that are helping people to get that food who can't get it. If we were to take all the food that was going to waste right now, you'd be able to feed the developing world. It's that much. So there are businesses like us, like other businesses as well, like Olio or Too Good To Go, that are looking at that problem. And so you're right, there are businesses that can help with this and can make a business out of it rather than being a charity.
Yeah, and if anybody saw the valuation of Olio recently, quite unbelievable. She's just raised something like 46 million, which it's if you've got anything that you are going to throw away, you put it on the app and somebody else will say, oh, I'd like it. And they're now doing a whole version of that where you can borrow things. So you don't need to go and buy it, you can just go and borrow it. So really, really amazing. So I wanted to finish by asking you 2 questions, each of you. I gave you a half-hour lead to think of something. But I wanted to ask all of you, and starting with Tracy and Hannah and ending with Nicola, tell us one thing that you are terrified of and one thing that you are excited about right now.
I'm terrified of, in my sector, in the beauty industry, adulterated ingredients. So ingredients that aren't really what they say they are, and that is still happening, and it will continue to happen as demand grows. A simple example is that there are not enough pigs in Parma to create the Parma ham that's required. The same is happening with ingredients like chamomile and vetiver. So I'm terrified by that. I'm also delighted that the industry is trying to step up and make some changes.
Great.
Yeah, so sticking with the Olio theme, I don't know if anyone's seen it, but they've recently released a TV ad, which is really, really powerful. I'd recommend everyone to go look at it. And it shows all the waste. It was one place in Wales with all the food waste, all just household waste. And it's really scary. And I know we didn't want to put a negative note on this, but in terms of what I'm really excited about, it's all the developments. And you look at COP26 and all the key developments that are coming out of that will help us with the waste, with turning around the climate. And I think that's the really exciting thing that's going to come over the next couple of decades.
I'm afraid of disconnection, and I'm excited about reconnecting. And said differently, when I remember an old movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was sent to the future to kill somebody, I don't remember who, and he met that girl he fell in love with, and they
Terminator. The young
is it Terminator,
boy.
really?
Yeah.
I thought it was another one, that one, but maybe. And he
was it twins, maybe?
No.
And they decided to make love, and so she put on her 3D glasses, and because you don't touch each other in that future anymore. And that's disconnecting and close to what Metaverse is preparing for us. Said differently, when I was 18, there was this sentence by André Malraux, which was a writer and French minister, saying, le 21e siècle sera spirituel ou ne sera pas. The 21st century will be spiritual or won't be. And the spirituality is the quality of being concerned by the spirit and the soul rather than physical or material things. So I think it's the same.
a wonderful note. I just wanted to wrap with we just mentioned COP26, and I have to tell you, a little bit cynical about COP26 and a whole load of people talking, feeling so great because they're all there in Glasgow. And then at the last minute we went, so I was there for 3 days, and one thing that really struck me, I was actually very optimistic coming back. I felt like, yes, some historic stuff is actually happening. But what absolutely struck me is governments have zero power. Everything is going to be done by business. And what I hope all of you are really taking from this amazing panel, thank you so much, is that business is the tool of change. So if you guys want to 10x in any way, of course profitability, of course having an incredible exit using Tim, but if you really want to 10x and feel great about what you're doing, know that business is the tool of change at scale and at speed, and you are the ones that are going to make the difference. So thank you, and beer is ready. Oh, beer's not ready. We've got something better than beer.
Can you help me to show this to the audience, please?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, wow, I love that. Before you get this, if you're lucky enough to, I just want to explain what this is. This is merino wool. You'll get it and think, what is this? It's merino wool. I've seen the price of it on the website. It's quite expensive.
Okay.
So it is worth grabbing. And if you get this, you know you're part of a movement.
I'm sorry, I have not enough for you.
Ready? Hey, we might need to video.
I've got mine. Oh, Nick. Oh.